but it's a relationship. That's the important part. It's not sustainability, it's not a one-time act, one-time technology. It's not like a solar panel. No, it's your relationship with everything. And that's kind of a constant, like every relationship, you are constantly growing, constantly approaching it from a different place. And yeah, I feel that's the key.
Hello everyone, my name is Arat and I'm here with Oneistox presenting another mentor talk where we have a chat with renowned professionals of the construction industry from all over the world. In this occasion, I'll be chatting once again with an architect and artist straight from Latin America about sustainability, biomimicry, and building with natural materials. Pablo Luna found his calling in Indonesia, culminating in a studio that brings forth respect for nature as well as an experimentation of green materials. The studio's work philosophy is informed by the continuation of the vernacular traditions of sustainable building, biomimicry, organic architecture, and modern structural systems that allow the creation of residential, commercial, and touristic buildings that positively impact the people that experience them, while also ensuring minimal impact on the environment. So, welcome once again, Pablo. Thank you for being here. How are you?
Hi, Arad. Thank you for the invitation. Super happy to be here again with you, ready for this interview.
Perfect. So let's go at it. So the first question that I would like to ask is if you would like to share with us your definition of sustainability, since we know that the term is still interpreted by various architects in many ways.
For sure. So this is a passion topic for me. I feel that it's better to start by understanding what is environmentalism, because sometimes there is a confusion between sustainability and environmentalism. And environmentalism is a socio-political movement that cares about the protection of nature. That's the core of it. Then you have ecology, that is the interaction between mankind and the environment, which are both very important parts of sustainability. But sustainability have different pillars. First has the economy, then the social, then the environment. Then you have the health and longevity of your clients and buildings. So again, in a summary, for me, sustainability would be the ability to achieve sustained economic prosperity over time while protecting the natural ecosystems of our planet and providing a high quality of life for the people. We can go deeper, as I was saying, like into these different, like, let's say, pillars of sustainability. For example, for me, economy is the basis of everything today. And is when you need to be able to provide economic sustainability by finding the balance between the cost of construction for your client, the environment, and the relationship that this has to the benefit the construction seeks to get. So, for example, in this case, understanding the cost of constructions, the labor, how to bring the materials, is a very important part. Again, this is just one aspect. Of course, you need to look at the land, at your footprint on the land from the environment perspective. What materials are you choosing? And then there is a lot of research to do there. And the balance is how to bring all of those pillars together, because we need to understand that sustainability is a human-made concept. The environment is okay. If we go at the core of sustainability, we are talking about protecting our human livelihood at this point. So with that basis, then we can keep going deeper, like social sustainability, that is to design buildings that promote interior harmony, a healthy coexistence with the exterior, or integrate technology that allows for minimal energy expenditure. This is the key, like to create systems to reduce the amount of energy within the building, so it's easy to be maintained, and at the same time promote health and longevity for the user. Like, for example, having ventilation, the proper ventilation. These are key things. And so it has to be looked from materiality, but at the same time from our human experience of the spaces.
Excellent. So holding the thought and the description that you just gave me, how do these concepts and this definition that we just taken upon, how do these concepts of sustainability inform your life and your work as an architect?
Beautiful question. I feel like they inform first my life through the way I eat. Like I'm talking about sustainable living, like eating healthy, knowing where my water is coming from, the way I treat others, because ultimately that has huge repercussion in how I treat myself. How if I'm able to really be in harmony with who I am and with even the things that I don't want to look about myself and don't want to show to others, because we are all humans and we have our own internal challenges, that I feel allows you to also look beyond you and understand and see the multiple relationships among everything. So for me, it's how I eat, how I treat, how I approach challenges. Excuse me, as an architect, is to always with the team look for new alternatives, for new approaches, for seeing what other people are doing, learning from them, having a healthy, let's say, ego, not believing that we have the answers. I think that's a huge point for me, to always be open to criticism and new ideas. Like and usually new ideas you find it in the most unexpected places, but and they really challenge you. Like, for example, now we're trying to really tackle the roof shingles that we have here in Indonesia, because we've been using, and I've been using mainly wood. We're trying to shift to reclaim wood, and really it's a challenge, because the clients, the costs are higher, so I need to educate my clients. I need to do all the research to facilitate this kind of during the construction process, and this goes beyond what you will call the architect's role almost, but you have to go, you have to learn, you have to have this conversation with the constructors, with the clients. So it's many aspects in how you live, how you approach, but it's a relationship. That's the important part. It's not sustainability, is not a one-time act, one-time technology. It's not like a solar panel. No, it's your relationship with everything. And that's kind of a constant, like every relationship, you are constantly growing, constantly approaching it from a different place. And I feel that's the key.
Excellent. That's very interesting that you're the first person that I've heard that talks about this whole process as a relationship, and not just like something that you can apply once and that's it, like kind of like a design method or like concepts. So that's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. And now that we talked about what sustainability is for you and how it does inform your work, we know that the construction industry is getting digitalized faster than ever. So how has technology helped you tackle the design challenges in your projects?
So technology, this is a beautiful question. For me, I see like three types of technology. One is the one that is like ancient, ancient construction techniques, understanding how your team works, the construction team works, the internal mechanisms within that community. And then you have innovations, like how you can make a process more efficient. You save energy, because in your human input and in the in the building itself. And then it's like the last part of technology today are these beautiful tools, like let's say Revit, that allows you to save to see your building from multiple perspectives, not like in just one plane. And So technology has helped us a lot, and we apply it in everything. We apply it in our human relationships within the studio, in the programs. We're always looking and training ourselves. And then we are putting, again, a lot of effort into what I would call these ancient technologies, because usually, for example, when you look at vernacular architecture, it already, if you look at the traditional buildings, it already telling you a lot of what works there, and kind of it gives you a hint of where you should take your buildings. Here, for example, in Bali, we have the ballet, that is like a palafito structure that is on stilts. And so you have good cross ventilation. It has like, again, the roof overhangs. It has the materiality that is used, that is mainly reclaimed wood. So it already gives you a lot of hints of what they were doing long ago, and that it can work here. They do it with bamboo as well. So it's a constant, it's a constant learning, a constant looking at things, and innovation for me is very related. It's looking how to do things differently, a little bit better.
Perfect. Thank you, Pablo. So the next question is kind of related to this topic of ancient traditions and ancient technology. So, for example, we know that many civilizations in the past looked towards nature for inspiration for their buildings, for their art. So how do you integrate biomimicry into your design process, and why do you think it's useful for your work?
Okay, biomimicry is extremely useful for our work because it pushes us to observe. That's the first one. To be open enough to learn from the environment. And as you exactly were saying about these ancient technologies, the nature, the flora, the fauna, the ecosystem here already intuitively has many of these mechanisms. Let's say, for example, a tree. The branches of a tree will grow in multiple directions, but it's not random. It looks random when you look at it, and it looks harmonic, but it's because each branch is following the sun. It's trying to get as much sun as it possibly can from all these different angles, and how each branch is kind of almost covering the next one, etc. So that already gives you a lot of hints of how you can do new orientation plans, new layouts, how you can maximize the views in a challenging site, or structural systems. When we work, for example, here with the Portobello mushroom, we did a design. We really understood a new way of getting higher overhangs with literally copying what we saw that the mushroom structure does. And it's super inspiring, because sometimes if we, of course, as I was saying, we limit our range of knowledge, or we think, okay, already we understand this, and we don't push ourselves, then that either that technology or those designs can become obsolete, or it just, architecture is also like a human endeavor. You as a human being, you want to grow through the process. So taking those times, it's a beautiful journey. And I think biomimicry in our case has served as a tool for observation, and it's like a creator of new knowledge.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. And now that we're talking about our projects and more getting into more of what you do, which of your projects do you consider exemplary of sustainable high performance design, like the jewel, or how do you say, the crown jewel of the projects of yours?
And to tell you the truth, I feel like we're in the journey. There is no project that I will call like this we have to follow. Not at all. But we are currently designing a retreat center in Nusa Penida. It's already under construction. And we have implemented a lot of beautiful technologies, from wastewater garden, solar panels. We're really looking into how to channel all the water. And we are creating not just these technologies, but these relationships. We are actually work hand by hand with the client, so everybody that comes here understands that, for example, all the products are biodegradable, that the food is what we grow in the permaculture side, that no plastic is allowed unless they can prove is extremely necessary. During their stay, there is education. So as you walk through the retreat, you are learning about these systems. So you come out from an architecture experience empowered, educated. You can tell the story of what is going on. We have been very careful of choosing materials that are that work in relationship with this land of Bali, that are abundant. In this case, it's bamboo. We are having minimal footprint. We really had strong conversations with the engineer to have a minimal foundation footprint. They are all in stilts. Yeah, we're utilizing earth techniques like rammed earth and among others. So it's a beautiful project that I'm super proud of. It's going to be ready by the end of this year. Sorry, at the end of next year. And but there's still a lot to learn. So I wouldn't, and I feel again it's sustainability and it's very much a local. It depends on the context. Bringing this to any other country would not work. So
yeah,
it is very much on the side. I feel we have pushed ourselves, but I already see many things that we could do better in the future. So yeah.
Perfect. So you just mentioned about choosing bamboo for this particular project. So I want to expand on that. How did you choose to work with this material, with bamboo, versus, for example, other traditional materials like bricks, maybe even adobe, concrete, steel, etc.?
The truth is that I feel bamboo choose me, not the other way around. I believe in the last interview I told you briefly that I came to Bali almost not fully knowing where I was coming from and what was happening here. I came with a very open mind, and John, that was my boss at the time, was really pushing for bamboo and innovation in construction. I had the opportunity to learn and build with it, and yeah, it really matched what I saw as an abundant, resourceful material here in Bali, that is playful, that is unique, that can provide a new experience, that the local people really know how to work with. All the ceremonies here in Bali that are in the Hindu religion, bamboo is always present in either in the temples or in the offerings. So yeah, I feel so grateful, and it's really when you look at the history of bamboo, it has a lot of lessons within it. It has a lot of like mystique, so I'm constantly surprised by it. And yeah, that's a short story. Today, of course, I'm learning about all materials, and I wanna. It's beautiful to find your material, and of course, bamboo is gonna be huge in my whole life, and I think the core at everything we do. But today we are expanding. We know brick, we know adobe, rammed earth, as I was telling you. So yeah, but bamboo is the pillar.
Perfect. And yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that when people often overlook about architecture, it has to be contextualized, right? Like it cannot just be like a skyscraper in the middle of the jungle or something like that. And that's actually the one of the best things that you mentioned about bamboo choosing you over, you choosing it. I think that was a great story that you just mentioned. Thank you for that. And now let's take it back to earlier when we were talking about sustainability. What do you think is one thing you wish people understood about sustainability but don't currently?
I think the number one, we mentioned it, that is a relationship. It's our relationship with yourself, with your environment, with how you do things. It's not a single piece. It's something that you need to learn, because especially now, for example, if we go more specific with new homeware products that are more energy efficient, or shower systems, or you need to adapt yourself, and it needs a flexibility of mind. So I think that's the number one. The second one is I believe the understanding that sustainability is not just the environment. That is a key part, but that is environmentalism. When we talk about sustainability, it's a cohesive, whole. But for me, where the base and the real base should be is in economic sustainability models based on energy efficiency. Because the reason behind this is because if it's not has a strong economic support, it's just greenwashing. Why? Or is it just a poetic idea, not an economic idea?
Yeah.
And what I mean is that when, for example, crises come, or when the things are more shaky, all these sustainable practices go away if there is not a strong economic reason for them to stay. So you need to work on your models. And that's why architecture is much more than just designing a floor plan. You need to get involved in the project, in how they are going to operate. What is everything behind a hotel or a sustainable community, how they really want to live. And you need to prove to your client that, let's say, using this material or using, for example, a wastewater garden to filter the water will save you money in the long run, and it will be beneficial not only in multiple ways. And when things are challenging, this will be one of the many pillars of support. So that for me is where we should all constantly challenge each other as architects, and it's not just about the building, but it's this relationship of the building and yourself among everything.
Excellent. And now the second question that I was going to ask related to this one kind of gets answered by what you just mentioned, which is, how do you think the market and professionals are currently approaching sustainability? You mentioned just now, for example, greenwashing, which is something that we always see with like this all buildings covered in trees and all this topography in green and stuff like that. But if we actually look further, we see that it's just kind of like a costume, right? So do you think that the modern approaching to sustainability could change, or is it any trend that you've seen that might be going into the right direction?
I see a trend lately that I really like, that is the restoring existing buildings and making them more energy efficient. I think there is gonna huge space for architects, clients, and people to work with what we already have. That is a lot. I really like that. I believe some architects call them retrofit. In general, to tell you the truth, I feel a bit disappointed with the current state of affairs and the amount of greenwashing there is. Everybody calls sustainable everything. Look, I'm being critical with myself. It's super challenging. It really challenges you, and it's super easy to criticize, and I think criticizing is good, but at the same time, like for an architect, let's say an example, you have a client and the client really wants certain things and you don't have another client. What do? It's so that's why I also don't believe in purism, because you need to balance everything. You need to understand that it's like a boat. I always see it. We are going to a more sustainable, that's the goal, and you need to plan it. So you need to present your client all your sustainable design strategies, all these relationships, how much you care, why this is sexy, why this is needed. Educate them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you need to be realistic. If you're a young architect, that of course you want to survive. So you cannot be that hard on yourself and put so many rules that you end up doing nothing. So it's always a balance, and every experience you learn, and in every building try to do a little bit of innovation that can contribute to this huge, let's say, cloud of knowledge where we can all learn from and pull off, and don't save this information. I really believe in fully opening, sharing as much as you can. We are in on this together. Sometimes we believe that by sharing we're gonna lose, or he's gonna no, it's the opposite. When you are constantly giving, the world is like here they call it karma in a way. I fully see it and believe in it, and it's a constant process. We're humans, and I always try to say that, and we have all challenges. Nobody's perfect, and it's a constant little step forward, bringing the discipline, living with an open heart, trying your best.
Thank you. Perfect. So now let's go and skip a little bit forward. In the recent years, there's been many concerns and many talk about climate change, and we of course do much recent because we've seen situations like the floodings in Pakistan that are historical. So what do you think, speaking also kind of like the future patterns and trends, what do you think the future architects will have to deal with in the next few decades concerning this growing climate concerns and discussion?
Yeah, no, the concerns are real for me. I see the rain here in Indonesia. It says that in the next 10 years it's gonna grow 40% more of rain. And we already have a lot. The floodings, there is a lot of things that are unexpected, but it's gonna be big. It all indicates that it's gonna be big. Everything is gonna come in a higher dose, let's say. So we need to be ready. For me, we need to take care of what already exists, adapt, as we were saying, restore existing spaces to make them more energy efficient, and also to start looking even deeper, like how we work with low maintenance products that require little energy or water. And what are the support as well, support the research. You need to put time into research and innovation, because if not, if your project doesn't have 5 or 10% of innovation, be it a structural mechanism, be it a material, be it a whole new relationship, we stop learning. And it's like how I see it as humans, we always have allowed, it's always technology what has allowed us to kind of to find a balance with all the damage we've done before. So I see that there is no other solution. We're already in this loop. And there are many promising technologies that are still not fully there, but we need to start to first promote them, share them, so they become sexy enough, the money goes there, the research goes there, and then that we can implement as much as we can. But it looks scary, and learn again from what they were doing back in the day, in those places where you're currently designing, and push and find your bamboo, like I had the beautiful chance to do here. Find the core, find your vision, find your values, and try don't be, it's impossible to be a purist, but do the best that you can.
Excellent. So now, according to you, what are the hard and soft skills an architect should have to be able to work in the domain of sustainability? What do you think they should have?
First, open-mindedness, and be really ready to accept critique, and take it full in, and ask for it. Don't I really believe it's not about what you already accomplished or how can we do this better? And every time you learn something, create the system for it, so you don't forget that will work in anything in your because in the last conversation we were always saying, like, it's just so much more than just designing. It's how to relate with your team, the systems within, the communication with the client, how you make life easier for them. So it's a lot of flexibility, a lot of open-mindedness, a lot of research that you should do, and make small tests in the back of your house or your studio. Like, it's all about trying your best to contribute to this bigger picture. At least for me, that's how I see it, and this is one mind, one way of looking at things. But that would be my how I would answer your question.
Excellent. And now finally, the last question arrived. Considering everything we just talked about, like the future trends that architects will have to endure and all these skills that we have to take upon, what advice would you give to architects aspiring to work in the sector of sustainability?
I believe I said it already, but it's the economy. It's work on your economic models, economic sustainable models based on energy efficiency. So we go from this greenwashing to models that are really resilient. And there is this idea that for me resonates a lot, that is like, before we were kind of in the pyramid of this planet, where any living being was a food for a larger living being. Today we are at the top of that pyramid, but not only that, we are self-sufficient. So we actually got out of that pyramid altogether. And now the key is how to be useful in this new network that as humans we have created, and how to be a change maker for all. So working these sustainability models, understand that they are much more than just materials. It's about relationships with your client, with your team, with all the stakeholders involved. And step by step, go step by step, a little bit every day. Don't encourage each other. Their architecture is challenging. Sometimes I wonder, wow, how did I got what I'm doing here? It's super challenging. But I think every architect also at the core loves the challenge, loves the idea of contributing. And that's kind of overall.
Perfect. So that ends the questions for today. Is there anything that you would like to add, like something that we didn't touch upon, or are we good?
I think we're good. Just again, sending all the love to everybody that is watching this, all the inspiration. I'm always saying thank you to all the people that came before us, that has allowed us to have this conversation, that this earth, to my team that is behind every word that I'm sharing right now. And huge motivation to everybody. And hope to see you all soon.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Pablo, for your time for this interview and the last one that we have together. I really appreciate your answers, and I'm pretty sure that the people that will be watching this video and reading the blog post will also be taking much advantage of what you just said. So thank you so much for watching. This was the interview of a mentor talk, or the junior talk with a mentor, sorry. And we'll be seeing each other again in the next one. So thank you, Pablo, and see you soon.
Bye. Take care. Thank you.
Goodbye.